Hello everyone and welcome. My name is Jeff and today we are going to have some fun playing Magic, and we're playing the Historic Artisan Event today, which I'm super excited to get in with. And I actually like Artisans so much. In fact, I did a tournament a while back where I actually paid out money for doing it was basically Artisan. We called it Peasant because you were able to use one rare card as well. Anyway, I love this format, and so I decided to make 5 different decks for this one. I actually have like 10 or 12 different ideas as well, and I just didn't know which one to do for this video, and so I decided, you know what, especially now that I'm jumping down to 3 videos a week, I can go ahead and put a little bit more time into each video. So I'm actually going to do 5 decks for this one, and play through each one of them, and then go through like my thoughts and ideas with each one of these as well. And so all the deck lists will be down in the description below if you guys want to jump into this. The event is still going to be around until the end of the year, so there's still a couple weeks that you can play. At least that's what I saw online. Hopefully that they stick with that. And there's some really fun stuff that you can do in Artisan. There are a few ban cards here: Persistent Petitioners, Cauldron Familiar, Cavalcade of Calamity, and Gates of Blaze. So with this, what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually probably go through each of the deck at the end. I'm going to go ahead and play 5 games right now, each different decks. I don't know why it just froze on me. There we go. Okay. And go through everything here. So the first deck we're going to do is Infinite Drain. Again, I'm not going to go dive into it right now. I'm going to go ahead and play it. I'll probably end up editing out and just giving you like good games, like one good game of each of the 5 different decks, so that you guys can get a feel of what they are, what's fun. But if you guys want to skip to the end just for the deck tech side of things, I just want to try this out a little bit differently. Let me know if you guys prefer this, like actually getting to the gameplay and then the deck tech. But I figure you guys can go check out the deck list if you really want to down below. A lot of you guys have played enough Magic that you kind of know what's happening with this. At least that's I feel like a lot of you guys are smarter than I am, especially down in the comments. I'm like, all right, everyone's a lot better at this than I am. I just like to play and have fun playing Magic. So that's what we're gonna do. And this is a really fun one. Let's jump into the gameplay. Here we go. Gotta get my monitors all set up here. All right, up against Fungi Farmer. So this guy's a mushroom farmer, which I've actually heard that people that do mushroom farming can actually make some good monies. All right, so this is pretty good. We're gonna keep this. So the idea with this deck, and maybe I'll just kind of go through what we're trying to do with the deck as we're playing it, because that's just more fun anyway. So pass the turn. What we're trying to do is we're trying to find Famished Paladin, which taps. It doesn't untap during your untap step, but whenever you gain life, it untaps the Famished Paladin. So what we're trying to do is find Sorcerer's Wand, which will be able to, you can tap down a creature. We don't actually need that right now. Oh, having duplicates is always nice, but so this deck is all about, there it is, there's Sorcerer's Wand. So we actually have our entire combo basically here online soon. So man, I hate getting this out without having protection for it, but that's what we're gonna do. I don't think they can kill it here. They do have Lightning Strike in this format, so we'll see how much we die. So Sorcerous Wand equips to a creature for 3. It's one to cast. This creature deals 1 damage to target player or planeswalker. If this creature is a wizard, it deals 2 damage. So you can tap to do damage. That's the whole thing. With Famished Paladin, as long as we give it lifelink, this says that the creature does 1 point of damage. So we will gain 1 life because it will have lifelink, deal 1 point of damage, gain life from that. And then we'll be able to, oh, hopefully they don't have like Skewer the Critics. Skewer the Critics is so bad for us here. And Wizard's Lightning. So many things that kill this guy. Man. Oh, can we survive? I can hold this up as protection on the next turn. There's God's Willing. There we go. All right, this is good. This is good. All right, so Island. The hard part is just how much mana you end up having to spend for everything. All right, so let's play Sorcerer's Wand down. So this one only gives him lifelink the turn that it comes out, and then we have to play it at instant speed. So now we have God's Willing to give us a little bit more protection. So we have to pay 3 to equip this, and then we have to have 2 to be able to give him lifelink as well. So this is a little bit awkward right now. So pass the turn. It's nice to have Sorcerer's Wand on turn 1 so you can get this a little bit faster. Again, though, once we get the combo, it's infinite damage. So once he gets lifelink, every time that he does damage, he'll untap himself. We get to tap again for another point of damage. We gain life every single time. We get to do infinite amount of damage, infinite amount of taps for 1 point of damage with Sorcerer's Wand. And so that's the whole goal. So Famished Paladin back in Ixalan, so it's gone now. So we will give him God's Willing. That is what we were hoping to be able to do. Protection from red. They haven't played another land yet, so this is actually good for us. So from red, don't want another copy here. What is it that we want here? What do you want? All right. Now I really hope. Let me go ahead and opt here first, actually. If we can just hit another land. I'm trying to think of the way that we can make it all happen on one turn instead of having to go through, have him be unprotected, because there's guaranteed this deck has a lot of ways to do 3 points of damage to my Famished Paladin. So holding up Sentinel Mark means that we can have protection for him, but that means that we lose our chance to have lifelink. And so we have to be able to, there's God's willing. That is exactly what we needed, but now we're 1 mana short. Dang it. Okay. We do need it though. Oh man, this is so annoying. Okay, we need another land as well, but I definitely like the God's willing. If we can have all of their damage go towards Famished Paladin and keep him alive, I mean that's pretty good for us. We need if we can have enough mana to be able to equip him and cast this at the same time. So land is really nice. God's willing I'm keeping just so that we have at least some protection here. Wait, does this say? Remember. All right, from red. There's land. All right, so we have land on top with the scry. Perfect. Doesn't do anything. A booyah. And we just hope that they can't do anything else on the next turn. So pass to my turn. Plains. Sentinel's Mark. I'm playing this first just because it gives them a little bit more protection. And they might just scoop up here. So it seems like the opponent knows what's going on. This is a combo that's been around for quite a while, since Dominaria came out. I'm using Sentinel's Mark, which is a new life-linking one that came out with Ravnica. Again, it only gives lifelink before the turn it comes out. We have 10 different ways to give Famished Paladin lifelink. We have 8 different ways to find Sorcerer's Spyglass, and a bunch of different ways to find. So we actually have 8 different ways to find Famished Paladin. We have 4 copies of himself and then 4 tutors for him. We have 4 Source of Spyglass, and we have actually, I guess it's just 2 tutors for the Source of Spyglass, so it's only 6 ways to get it. But it's the card that we don't want more of the most. Like, it's the most annoying to have multiples of. And so there we go. So yeah, opponent realizes that we do have infinite, and they is dead. And that was awesome, dude. Oh, man, that is such a fun deck whenever it goes off. And unfortunately, we are going to only play 1 game with it, or only show 1 game, and then we'll jump to the next ones. All right, up against Xenoc, bringing on Xenoc. And dude, I love the Tristani. That is Tristani, right? Yeah, anyway. So this deck, we're playing mono green Stompiness, and we're going to keep this. This is pretty good. So the main benefit in this deck is if we find Blanchwood Armor. Blanchwood Armor is 3 mana enchantment that gives +1/+1 for each forest that you control. So crazy powerful. Forever Young just to draw a card. Interesting. They must be really struggling for stuff. I'm going to go for Paradise Druid here. Pass the turn. So with this deck, we have some Hexproofers. I only have 2 of these Fierce Witch Stalkers, which is kind of interesting right now with what we've got. Vine-Mare are going to be pretty good against this deck. It's hexproof from everything and also can't be blocked by black creatures, which is great. I'm hoping they don't have too many white. Opponent just scoops it up. All right. We'll do another one with this one. All right, up against Bad Sun. Bringing on Bad Sun. Let's do this. And great hand. This is awesome. So the benefit here is that we have a bunch of hexproof creatures. We also have the ramp, which is awesome. But the hexproof creatures with enchantments or auras just becomes so much more powerful. Paradise Druid, unfortunately, doesn't keep it when it's tapped, which sometimes is the most important time to have hexproof. But hopefully at least lets us get in for a couple of hits before we, lose the ability there. So we know that we have Vine-Mare for the next turn. I'm just debating if I actually want to play as Paradise Druid or actually start getting in for some damage. We also get to hold up protection for this, or we can pay 1 to give it hexproof for a turn, but that's just enough for this deck. So I'm actually not going to swing in with Llanowar here. With only having blue out, maybe it's worthwhile to swing in, but They could also be flashing in Spectral Sailor or something like that. Yeah, so they probably would have traded off with the Llanowar Elves there. Let's hope they don't have a counter. That would be annoying. Like, so annoying. They have something. Swings in with a Sailor. We'll take it. They're taking their time, deciding, do I really want to hit in here? I don't know. Whoever knows. I passed the turn down to 19 and passed to my turn. All right, this time we're going to go ahead and swing in with Bark High Troll first and then just play out Vinemare. We could play double Paradise Druid, which is pretty good as well, but we'll save that for later turns. I'd like to get out actual big creatures while we have a chance. I'm hoping they don't have a Quench here. A Quench would be annoying. Down to 17. If they do have Quench, then playing double Paradise Druid is actually better. We're going to go Vinemare. Going to be greedy. All of the greed. I've seen some people also playing the Hypnotic Sprite, which they wouldn't actually have many for anyway. Look out, Dispersal. Yeah. Oh, Pirates. What? Spectral Sailor. There's a lot of good flying pirates. And Favorable Winds is in this format. Ooh, that is so good. All right, that's a fun deck to be playing. The biggest thing I'm worried about is Bounce. Bounce is like the best thing they've got going for them. Now they have Wizard's Retort available as well. Ugh. All right, let's go ahead and play the, let's go to combat first. Swinging with the Troll. Merfolk Trickster. That's fine. That means that we get this Vinemare out, which Vinemare is huge for us here. Because it's huge. And it's for us, you know. They can tap this down one turn. They won't be able to ever tap down Vinemare, which it may end up just getting traded off with. We'd like to actually get some enchantments onto it before long if we can. They're swinging in. Okay. No blocks. We don't have any reach in this deck, which is an issue. But I think we're just going to go aggressive, go kind of stompy. They're going to have to start chump blocking some of our big stuff at some point, which they could just be like flashing another Merfolk Trickster, double blocking, tapping this guy down. We are tempoed out of the game, basically. Talons of Wildwood is fun. All right, play Paradise Druid. I'm hoping that they try to counter this, and then we can resolve the Talons of Wildwood. The nice thing about Talons of Wildwood is even if it does get countered, we can bring it back at some point. Yeah, Talons of Wildwood, oh, I just totally cracked there. Talons of Wildwood is a great card here. Yeah, 3 convert mana cost to, or sorry, it's 2 convert mana cost to give a +1/+1 and give a creature trample. So if you have big beefy creatures, this is a great way to give them trample in M19, so it's in Historic. But then you can also, if it does go to the graveyard, just pay 3 to get it back, and that is so effective sometimes. I really do like it. All right, Spell Pierce goes to the graveyard. That's fine. Now we get to swing in. What you got? Do they have another Merfolk Trickster? That's the question. If they do, I'm still going to swing in with Vinemare to kill both Merfolk Tricksters. I'm guessing that's what they're going to be doing with it. Swing in. They're just taking it. Ooh, okay, that's good. That means they don't have too much answers-wise. Okay. I mean, Hexproof does add a lot of value here. We will trade off Paradise Druid with this Merfolk Trickster. I mean, we have enough damage that I don't... Like, if they go aggressive like that, we should be fine. Terramander is annoying. How many cards do they have? Only 2. Okay, we're fine for another turn or so. Let's see how aggressive they get. Swings in with Spectral Sailor. They're going to be able to double block a Vinemare, which is annoying. We can also just pay to bring this back. Pass to my turn. Land is actually pretty nice there, so bring back Talons of Wildwood. If they want to counter it again, we're just going to be getting rid of their counters with this card, which is great for us. We're playing it onto a hexproof creature, which means that the only way they can deal with this is by countering it, which blue has. Blue is actually one of the harder decks to play against with this. As you saw in that first game with it, mono black just basically scoops it up. Yeah, so opponent scoops it up. There we go. That is exactly what we love about this deck, is it just gets so broken. We didn't find Blanchwood armor, which gets really insane, but just trust me, you guys have got to try this one out. It is super fun. Up against Azinyan. I don't know how to pronounce that. We are playing a second draw deck with this one, and I'm actually, man, I don't think we can keep this though. We do have card draw, which is always nice. We have Thrill Possibility to draw a bunch of cards. We're gonna keep this. So the nice thing I like about this deck is that we have a chance to draw into. I'm actually, which one do I prioritize? Anyway, Mountain. I'm actually going to be, I have lots of flame sweeps in here, which is really good in the format. There we go. That's actually really good. So Improbable Alliance, totally cracked again. My bad. What we're trying to do is we're playing a couple of Improbable Alliances. We have the Fury that gets bigger, and then we have Crackling Drakes, and that's pretty much all of our creatures. And we just have tons of card draw, some good removal here and there, and life is just good with it. I'm actually going to dig for... Do I want to draw now or draw 2 cards next, like on their end step? I'm just debating if I want to find like a blue source right now. We have so many mountains to get rid of here, so let's actually just go ahead and Thrill of Possibility on the end step. We do have Shock in this deck as well, so if we find a Shock, we can still use it, or Opt or something like that. We'll see. We definitely want to draw into a better hand here. Opponents just pass in here. All right, Thrill Possibility. Discard that. If they have counter, this is annoying because they basically get us to discard a card as well. Another Improbable Alliance is really good as well. We just wish we had another blue source. That would be really good. Swing in. May as well. This doesn't have reach, right? Down to 21. Pass the turn. And this is the biggest issue with double colored decks in Artisan or whatever, is that there's just not a lot of good dual lands. And so you end up playing a bunch of things like this, which the life gain ones are actually pretty awesome. We should be able to handle this deck. I'm hoping. Dude, we've got to find blue mana. Seriously? All right, well, we have blockers. That's good. No attacks. We'll stay defensive here. It looks like they're going to be a little bit more of an aggressive deck if they have a lot of the stuff I'm thinking of. They have Risen Reef, which is still in this format, which I don't know why that's not banned. Holy, that's not good. Another Leafkin Druid. I'm guessing they swing in here. Our life total is low enough, and they're doing enough damage. We just have a way to rebuild the board over and over again. So I'm actually not killing the Scampering Scorchers because there is a card in this format that will bring them back to the battlefield, which just gives them more value. So until I have... Come on, deck. Give me a land. Okay, Opt. It is a blue land, so we keep. We get to create 2 blockers, so that's good enough. Good enough. All right, play that. Pass the turn. Oh, so many blue things in hand. So next turn, I think we just play Improbable Alliance number 2.
So many new worlds.
Yeah, that's really powerful for them. All right, block and block. Kill the things that we can. Take 1,000,000. And just hope we can survive. This does 2 damage to any target. We're just dead in a couple turns. All right, we have to be able to just survive for a turn or so. All right, so Improbable Alliance again. Radical idea. Oh wait, cancel. This radical idea. Double Shock actually really good here. And Pass the turn. This means that we can kill these Leafkin Druids. I'd like to be able to get rid of this Chandra as well, because Chandra, they probably ought to just be hitting our face. There's Risen Reef. That's annoying. All right, resolve. We have to make sure that we can actually survive through all of this. See what they've got here. All right, hit Risen Reef. That's not as good as what we were trying to do, but letting them get out of hand with a Risen Reef is not okay. Gain some more life. Yeah, we still have a way to come back from this. It's just going to be really hard if they find something else like this. We have to start. I don't think we have ways of gaining life, actually. We do have a couple of life-gaining lands, which if we can get to like 6 life, we can maybe just keep ourselves out of range from these from a Chandra for life.
Whoosh! Up in flames.
Let's shock Chandra.
Keep it up and you'll get hurt.
Yeah, block the Scampering Scorcher. Blue mana is great. All right, so Fairy Vandal and Crackling Drake. Draw a card, get a bunch of triggers. Swing 2 at Chandra. There we go. So we're not dead next turn. If they find another Chandra, we are just dead. We have to find the 4 lands that we have that get us life just to not be dead immediately to stuff like that. They also have lightning strikes in this deck, so there we go. Life gain. We did it. We also can draw cards here. Let's go ahead and draw, getting rid of this mountain. Beacon Bolts. Is that any target? Okay, swing, swing. Scampering Scorcher. I'm trying to think of how they can kill us here. So that's 13, 14. All right, so this, we'll swing like this. This means that we have lethal on the next turn. If we don't have to block with these guys. Pass the turn. I guess I should have drawn with Radical Idea after the fact. Okay, opponent scoops it up. There we go. So we got pretty lucky there. But what an intense game. That was so fun. I mean, it came down to the last little bit there. If they were able to find the lightning strike, which I do think getting rid of Risen Reef probably helped us there. Just they had so many things that we saw from that deck that could have killed us. So, whew, man, the second draw deck though is so good in Artisan. All right, up against Xander, and we are playing Golgari Explorer with this one. So yeah, Golgari. Everyone says I say it wrong, which I do, but this is the perfect hand. This is, and we're going first, which is so good. So Forest. Pass the turn. As long as we can keep this Wildgrowth Walker alive, life is so good. So Wildgrowth Walker, next turn we get to start exploring. Seeker Squire is the best, so don't have Cast Down. Cast Down's really good. Order of Midnight. We live! All right. And we dominate here. All right, so now that we have Foulmire Knight, do I actually want to play that out? We're just going to go Seeker Squire. I want to hold on for some card draw, especially because we're going to have some life gain here and some awesomeness. Okay, swing it on in. Down to 18. Pass the turn. If we can explore twice next turn, that'll be so good. So as long as they don't have removal for Wildgrowth Walker, we basically win this game. And the goal is to try to get to where we can still win even throughout this. I can't remember if I put in a couple of Order of Midnights to try to get back our Wildgrowth Walkers. I don't think I did. All right, so Ixali's Diviner. Obnixious Cruelty. All right, that's fine. It's annoying, but that's fine. I think we're just digging for another Wildgrowth Walker, right? I mean, Tishana's Wayfinder is good. It does make these guys get bigger. So while we know that we have that available to us, it is kind of nice to just keep that in the library, get these guys at least big enough to be attackers, and pass the turn. Night Veil Predator, so annoying. It does have hexproof too, so annoying. Let's go ahead and just draw a card, play out Llanowar, kind of get a little bit wider here. No attacks, pass the turn. Oh, dude, so good. Cast down does not do anything against that. Nice. Yeah, this one's probably over. Ah, man, we'd actually like some more black mana here at some point. Here's Shauna's Wayfinder. Graveyard that. Play land. Next, just swing in with everything. We can cast down this Order of Midnight when we need to. We should get in for some damage right now while we can. Maybe try to race. Opponent's got everything. They have cast down. All right, hit for 3, down to 14, pass the turn. Man, I don't think we're going to be able to race. This Night Veil Predator is so annoying. And we've got pretty much nothing for it. Yeah, Order of Midnight swings in. It can't block anyway. We will kill it though, just to save. It gives us 1 extra turn. I guess not now with Night Veil Sprite. Down to 6. Draws 2 cards. And yeah, this one's over. If we had been able to keep out the Wild Growth Walker, but they just had the removal that they needed for it. And that's what I was saying is if we keep it out, we do amazing. If we don't, and they just had it at the right time. Oh, okay. Wild Growth Walker. Actually, we do have Enter the Unknown. This gives us enough life to stay alive. So that was a great draw there. Let's see if this works for us. Okay, Enter the Unknown. Does it stay alive? Alright, there they go. Alright, concede. We actually almost came back there. I'm not sure. They just had so much card draw, though. Alright, this hand is looking pretty good right now. We had to mulligan away some bad stuff. The Sapling Migration coming out. We're just playing out our Mistcloak Herald. Double Curious Obsession on the next turn is insanely powerful. I'm really hoping they don't have some way of just removing. Yep, no blocks. Actually, before we play land, just in case we can find a way to protect this better. Okay, swing in with Mistcloak Herald. Draw 2 cards. This is the hand that we've always dreamed of. Take action, take action. Ooh, and that's good too. All right, so next turn we also get Champion of Flame, giving it like Arcane Flight. Maybe Glaring Aegis, we'll see. Yeah, opponent just keeps it up. See, that's the issue with this deck is, and I'll show some of the losses that we had as well, where it's like we had the perfect hand. It's either we win like immediately or we lose like pretty immediately as well. The issue is that all these tap lands really do hurt us, but it's the only way to play 3 colors, I feel like, in this format. All right, up against Azinian again, which we did play against them before. I'm trying to remember if I actually am showing that one or not. You know, I do that. So this deck is actually, this hand is pretty sweet. We'll see how this one ends up working. Danitha in here, partly because it's just First Strike, Vigilance, Lifelink. It does make auras and equipment cheaper, which we don't have a few auras that are actually that expensive at all. But it is just a really good creature as well. So keeping this, the whole goal with this, by the way, we're playing Jeskai auras, and so we're playing Champion of Flame with Arcane Flight, you know, just trying to make these guys unblockable and awesome. I mean, just go crazy. Merfolk is another way I was thinking of going. Merfolk is probably really powerful in this format, actually. Oh, River Sneaks as well. Yeah, yep. We're in trouble. So, Mistcloak Herald. I was debating if I'm wanting to play something else here. Let's go ahead and play this out, gain some life. Champion of Flame is going to get massive, and we do get to tap down a creature, which, I mean, doesn't help a ton, like, in this setting. I'm going to... Oh, I can't block there. Yeah, no blocks. Down to 17. Okay, so... Champion of Flame. I was going to give it Arcane Flight, but now I actually just need a good blocker, so we're going to go ahead and put that on the Champion of Flame, make him huge mungus, tap that down, swing it on in. Unfortunately, the River Sneak still cannot be blocked, and Deeproot Rotters with River Sneak is so good, but we'll get down Danitha next turn and maybe give it some lifelink or something, and that will help out a lot. All right, Danitha just as a blocker in general is going to be great. Taking a ton. Yep. Oh, man. You know what? I think we win by maybe even being more aggressive. I don't know. Okay, the opponent has negate. That's annoying. Should have gone for the Danitha then. Just gonna keep this back as a blocker. Swing in with the Herald. And River Sneak we cannot deal with whatsoever. Pass the turn. So powerful. Another Deeproot Waters. Yep. Well, I mean, what do we do when they just have everything? Oh my gosh. Okay, River Sneak gonna get massive here. It might be worthwhile for them to just like swing in with everything here. We might just be dead. I mean, they'll play it safe. But next turn, I think we are, unless we find a way to kill that. All That Glitters, that is one that we were hoping for. So, I mean, we do get to play it here. Danitha, All That Glitters. But I just want to play it onto Danitha so that we can gain some life, actually. We actually hold back and just have blockers. This just gives them more turns to win with River Sneak, though. Yeah, now we're dead. Okay. Okay, now we're gonna go through each of the decks and just kind of tell you what my thoughts are on each of them. I'm gonna stay in the order that we posted them as well. But so ultimately, Infinite Life Drain is probably my favorite. One of my favorite decks ever, and it's actually kind of powerful. In fact, you can play this in normal play, and I think it actually will. It does well. The issue is that people have better removal. They have more answers for different situations, and there's some decks that are just really hard to beat up against. Which, I mean, you just hope you find your Spell Pierce, you hope you find stuff like that, and you can do well. But the benefit of this deck right now is that it's a 3-piece combo, which is so much better than any other combo. Like, 3-piece is not that difficult, and it is infinite, so great. And then you also have just ways to tutor up for it that are really cheap and easy to have. And so, Forerunner of the Legion digs for, when it enters the battlefield, then you get to search your library for a vampire card, put it on top of your library. So you get to go digging for a Famished Paladin. When Deadeye Quartermaster enters the battlefield, you get to go searching for an equipment or a vehicle and put it into your hand. So you get to go dig for a Sorcerer's Wand, put it into your hand. Awesome. And then the only thing you don't get to dig for is your life linking pieces, but you have we have 10 of them in the deck, so I mean there is a good chance we'll find it. We do have ops, we have scry with our God's Willing, and so we have ways to dig for it, and you're just gonna kind of hoping that you can have it in your opening hand. That is one thing that it's nice to have Famished Paladin and Sorcerer's Wand in your opening hand, especially because Sorcerer's Wand comes down on turn 1. Famished Paladin is pretty good to have out there as well. So the issue is this is always a turn 4 combo. Like that is probably the biggest problem with this deck, is that you have to pay 3 to equip this onto Famished Paladin, which takes up entire turn 3. If you do have that, then either Squire's Devotion, Sentinel's Mark comes down turn 4, or it's on Sarah's Wing turn 4, and you also have the combo. Typically those is turn 5, turn 6, which is a little bit scary because a lot of decks can be killing you around that time, which luckily with a lot of lifelink, a lot of different protection, we can find ways to just still win, even through blocking or whatever we need to be doing. God's Willing has helped a ton, but ultimately this deck I found is pretty consistent. You can just win without finding Sorcerer's Wand ever. You can still win by just putting Secret Squires onto Forerunner of the Legion, and which gets pumped every time, and putting a life linking thing onto Famished Paladin anyway is so powerful. And so there's a lot of fun stuff you can do with this deck. I just realized that I didn't even change out the lands for better lands with this one, which maybe just worked out well that way. Maybe you don't need to, because honestly the dual lands were kind of hurting us in other decks. But I would put it down here to have the lands as well. And then we have Mono Green Artisan, which love this deck. And the real benefit is if you find Blanchwood Armor. So Blanchwood Armor, 3 convert mana cost, enchant creature, it gets +1/+1 for each forest you control. Because I do have a lot of ramp in here with Llanowar Elves, Paradise Druid, I went down to 22 lands. It just kind of was fitting well for us. We were able to play everything consistently. But with Blanchwood Armor, it is nice to have more lands just so you can do more stuff. And the best thing about it is that you can turn a Llanowar into a 10/10 in the late game, and so even top decking pretty bad stuff, you can still win games with it pretty effectively. Having the 3 copies of Talons of Wildwood is really important so that you can give big things trample. And then the other thing is just playing a bunch of hexproof creatures. So Vine Mare, which is just hoses black decks, which is great. Surf Aaron, which gives something else a big bump as well. So if we do just want to pump this up, it's a little bit more risky because it doesn't have hexproof, but you can pump up something else up. Barkhide Troll gets hexproof for 1 mana, and then we have Paradise Druid, which has hexproof as long as it's untapped. Thrashing Brontodon, just because it's a beefy 3/4 creature. I mean, it's just a powerful creature. It's really good. And then Oaken Form here as well, just 3 mana, give something +3/+3. If you have your hexproof things out, it's really powerful. If you have our trampling creature, which is really good as well, which that's kind of the main reason for a Fierce Witchstalker. It's just a trample creature, which is nice to have. Elvish Visionary to help us draw some cards, which again can be turned into something massive with the Blanchwood Armor. So pretty fun stuff. I really do like this deck. I think that the amount of auras is actually pretty good with this one. Having some card draw is nice as well. I'm not sure if it's better than just playing mono green elves in this format though, honestly. With Imperious Elf, so Imperious Perfect is uncommon, and so you have like an amazing lord here in uncommon for elves. So honestly, elves might just be the best way to go for mono green, but this deck is fun as well. And here's the double draw artisan, double draw deck, and I think this is probably the most consistent, just like dominates. It's a really powerful deck. The only issue is if people are playing really aggressively and you don't find a flame sweep. So maybe going up to 3 copies is worthwhile. But with how much we get to dig for it, we do have Blink of an Eye, which a lot of times Blink of an Eye is really good. And in Probable Alliance, as long as we're finding this or flame sweep early game, we have blockers, we have ways to deal with stuff. Being able to draw cards is not difficult for this deck. But one thing I love is the Witching Well. Witching Well is so good because you can draw 2 cards on their turn, and being able to scry early game is so powerful to be able to dig for the things you need, the flame sweeps, whatever. And typically you don't need that many flame sweeps to really stay in the game, but once you get Crackling Drakes out, once you get Fairy Vandals to start growing, a couple Improbable Alliances, this deck is just broken. There is the chance that you just don't ever find any creatures and only have draw, which I did put in 2 Spectral Sailors in here just because it is nice to have. It's good. It does draw you cards for 4 mana. Like it's nice to have. And so this deck overall I think is the most powerful. The shocks, again, the biggest issue is if you just don't have any removal, and so I just try to make sure that we had good removal throughout kind of the game here with this one, and it paid off really well for me, and it's worked really well. So anyway, this is the one I recommend is the best right now to try out, and it's just really powerful. But there are some that are more fun. The Explorer deck, I even spelt it wrong here. I actually was kind of disappointed with this one, how it turned out. So I built it up, and I did play a few. I ended up playing 5 games with it and lost all 5, which was a bummer because I had played like 5 games before that with the other decks and won every one of them. And so I went, won 5, then lost 5, which maybe that's just Arena trying to like hose me real quick, but I feel like we had a bunch of really great hands, and people just have good enough removal in the format to kill Wildgrowth Walker that it kind of makes it annoying. So, I mean, if you do get to keep it out on the battlefield for a few turns, that's great. Another way to go about it is going into blue for Explorer. There are some good Explorers in this, was like Siren's Lookout, but the other thing too is going into like Siren's Ruse. Let me see if I can type it right. There we go. To just blink any creature that has Explore to be able to just explore again. I actually like that almost better than Enter the Unknown, and it also protects your creatures as well. So Wildgrowth Walker, you have a way to protect it if it's a pirate, which you have. There are some pirates in here. I guess it's in blue. The blue has some pirates that explore. That you can draw a card as well if it is a pirate. Lurking Chupacabra is the main reason I went into black for this, and Cast Down just having some good removal in the deck as well. And Seeker Squire is the second best explorer that there is. And so anyway, that was the main reason. And I just never really got it to pull off. Like I feel like people were just maybe I just went up against the wrong matchups with it, but overall it just didn't work out for me. But I do think the deck has potential to win you games. I think all of these ones do. And the last one, this one was so infuriating to play during this one. So I actually ended up playing 5 games, lost 4 in a row, and then won 1. I had like the perfect hand every single time. An opponent would kill me the turn before I would like the turn before I would do something awesome. And so it was just really annoying that. The real issue is that we had really slow lands. Playing 12 copies of tapped lands, even though they gain you life, is not enough in this. So maybe just not playing the tapped lands is the way to go. But I don't know how you then play a consistent deck with 3 colors in this format. It really would be difficult. But overall, if you do get your Mistcloak Herald with Curious Obsessions, it's insane. If you get Champion of Flame with anything onto it, it's all of a sudden really insane. And so there's some really cool stuff you can do with this, but whether or not you actually will is another question entirely. But overall, super fun deck. I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, please leave a like and subscribe. I hope you guys, if you do like this type of video, like doing 5 different videos or decks or something like that, let me know down below if you guys would like me to change the format, whatever. Now that I'm doing 3 videos a week, I can do a lot more better quality stuff, or at least more into each video like this. And so anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed it. I'll see you in the next one, and bye-bye.